Good morning, all of you. So in the last class, we discussed about friction on the vertical surfaces. Just we discussed the theory based on that. And now let us see a few problems based on that friction on the vertical surface. And so now I am giving this some of the problems here with those concepts what we discussed in the last class. You can solve these problems here. So try those problems. These are simple only. So these are purely based on the concept what we discussed in our last class, right? So just resolve the forces into components and identify which force is larger and then decide the direction of the friction, whether the friction is upwards or downwards. And then if it is friction is either downwards or upwards, then decide the magnitude of the friction, how much magnitude is there. So in generally whenever the question is there about the friction, even though it is not required, you need to calculate the limiting frictions there generally. So then first calculate those limiting frictions, and the friction what you are getting, whether it is less than the limiting friction or greater than the limiting friction, you need to compare, and then after comparing that you can decide that value of that frictional force there, right? So that is that problem there, and solve those problems. I'm not explaining those problems, you can solve those problems easily. Now I am giving this another problem here based on this. So here a 2 kg block is pressed against a wall here. Suppose say this is the wall I am taking here. On this block a 2 kg block is pressed like this. So that means a 2 kg on this 2 kg block, the mass of this block is 2, and we are applying a normal force of say this 15 newtons here. This 15 newtons is normal to the wall here, right? A 15 newtons force is acting normal to the wall, and another force I am applying here is a 40 newtons force is acting perpendicular to the parallel to the wall and perpendicular to this force here. And suppose say here the coefficient of friction is 0.5, mass of the block I am giving it as 2 kg here. So we need to find the acceleration of the system, if any. Is that question is clear? So what I am explaining there, what I am giving the data, that means if this is the block here, perpendicular to this we are applying this one force here. So this force is 15 newtons perpendicular to this block, and perpendicular to this 15 newtons and parallel to this wall I am applying another force here. So this force is 40 newtons here. So that means under the action of these two forces we need to decide the magnitude and direction of this frictional force here. And so let us take this, this is the coefficient of static friction, and I am taking this coefficient of kinetic friction is 0.4. So we need to decide that if the acceleration is there, if not, then what will be the direction of the frictional force, magnitude and direction of the frictional force. Write down the data. Say block of mass 2 kg is pressed against a wall, by applying a force of 15 newtons perpendicular to the wall. By applying a force of 15 newtons perpendicular to the wall. Another force 40 newtons is applied on the block. Another force 40 newtons is applied on the block parallel to the wall and perpendicular to the 15 newtons. And in brackets mention that coefficient of mu s is 0.5 and mu k is 0.4. Find magnitude and direction of the frictional force, and also find the acceleration of the block, if any. That means if body accelerates, we need to find the acceleration, otherwise we need to answer it as 0. So that means now in those problems, first you need to calculate this limiting frictions and kinetic frictions, because both the values are given. So first I am doing that calculation here. Can you say which force we need to take that normal reaction here? Which force we need to take normal reaction? 15 newtons, because this 15 newtons is applied perpendicular to the wall here. So that 15 newtons we need to take it as normal force here. Therefore this normal force is equal to 15 newtons, and then what you can write is this coefficient of friction we can write as, well, that means limiting friction we can write it as mu s into n, so which is 0.5 into 15, so which is 7.5 newtons, and mu k value we can write it as 0.4 into 15. and so which is 6 newtons here. So that is kinetic friction and limiting friction values. And so now first we need to decide that which forces are accelerating that system. Which force are accelerating that system we need to decide here. So then for that I will draw that free body diagram here. So that means now this is the block what I am taking here. This 14 newtons force is acting along this direction. So it is trying to accelerate the block along this direction. In addition to that, the weight of the block is there. That means that 2 kg, so that 20 newtons is acting along this direction. So only these two forces are trying to accelerate here. This 15 newtons which is applied perpendicular to the wall, it is not accelerating that block there, right? So the only these two forces are accelerating that system. And so now let us find this net force here. Let us find this net force here. Suppose this net accelerating force is along this direction, and so that net force I am taking it as 40 square plus 20 square you can write. So then that is this value is nothing but under root of 1600 plus this is 400, so which is 2000. So 2000 means you can write this value as so that means 10 root 20, or you can write this as 10 root 20, and I think further you can further simplify that. Then 4 if you are taking out, then 20 root 5, right? So you can write this expression like this, 20 root 5 newtons, right? So that will be the net accelerating force here. Now the net opposing force will be opposite to this. So this force is trying to accelerate along this direction, and so now friction will develop opposite to this here. So the friction will develop like this. And so now we need to check whether this force is greater than the limiting friction or less than the limiting friction. So clearly you can say that here the accelerating force is 20 root 5, but here the limiting friction is only 7.5 newtons. So definitely the system will accelerate here, right? And so the system will accelerate along this direction here. That means what we can write is F is greater than this F limiting. Therefore that means so block accelerates in the direction of F. In the direction of F. So right, that means F means this force here, resultant of those two forces, and if you want you can find this angle also. If suppose that angle if you are taking as theta, then the tan theta we can write this as 1 by 2. That means 20 by 40 you can write, tan theta means that is 1 by 2 you will get. And therefore this acceleration, that means we can write this net force Ma is equal to F minus Fk we can write, because now already we decided that system is accelerating. So when system is accelerating, the frictional force we need to take it as kinetic friction here. Now the system will accelerate like this, and therefore this 2 into A is equal to 20 root 5 minus this Fk value 6 is given. Therefore acceleration of the system will be like 10 root 5 minus 3, so meter per second square. So this will be the acceleration of the system here. The acceleration of the block will be along the direction, and if they are asking like sometimes they ask the components, then you can resolve this by taking this angle here. That means A cos theta is x component and A sin theta is y component you can write, right? So that is that problem there. And next here they will ask, we discussed like pressing a block against the wall. Now there will be some problems like this. Like here one of the based on this, one of the previous question is there here, like how much force is required to keep the system in equilibrium by applying the force like this. That means two blocks are there, for example. This is say for example like 4 kg block and this is 2 kg block, and here the coefficient of friction here is given as some 0.4, and this is a smooth wall, and we are applying some force F here. Now there the question is how much force is required to keep the two blocks in equilibrium. So how much force is required to keep the two blocks in equilibrium? Can you say how much force is required? Simply remember that if this, if you are taking the free body diagram, then you will get the clarity here. So just I am taking the free body diagram of these blocks here. So that means now if you are taking the 2 kg block and 4 kg block, so let us take the free body diagrams here. Free body diagram of this 2 kg block and 4 kg block. So now this 2 kg block is, for this we are applying some force here, applied force F will be there, and let us discuss about normal reaction, then you will get the clarity about that. And if you are taking the chance, like if this 4 kg block is having more weight and so first it starts sliding down, then frictional force acting on this will be in upward direction, right? And so that this 4g will be there in downward direction here, weight of this block. And then if friction acting on this block is in upward direction, then friction acting on 2 kg block will be in downward direction here. And the weight of this block is also in 2g will be in downward direction here, right? If suppose, for example, if you are assuming that this 4 kg is balanced by this F, then F is equal to 4g will get. Then for this, the block will, total force will be there in downward direction, and so it accelerates downward direction here. And even if you are taking the reverse direction, force on this is in upward direction if you take, then force on this will be in downward direction here. So that means, because here there is no friction, this side it is a smooth wall here, so that side there is no friction here. So that means from this what we can conclude is, so whenever this wall is a smooth wall, whatever may be the number of blocks, you may place a single block or you may place a multiple blocks in contact with each other like this. So whenever that wall is a smooth wall and whatever the amount of force you are applying, equilibrium of the system is not possible. So right? So that in previous advanced question, one of that option is like that. Equilibrium of the system is not possible. So that is the option we need to select there. So you can't keep the blocks at rest by applying a force like that if the wall is smooth wall, right? And based on that, now let us take this wall is a rough wall, and let us take this one more problem here. So this is a 20 kg block and this is another block here I am taking like this. And now here I am taking a pulley arrangement here. That means by connecting some string here, let us consider like this, some block like this. So that I am connecting this block like this. A pulley arrangement is given here. And so that this angle is, you can consider this angle as angle made with this horizontal as some 30 degrees I am giving here. This is M1, let us consider 10 kg block. And this is M2 20 kg block. So that is the thing what we need to consider there. That means in that system, write that in the system shown in figure, the coefficient of friction between all surfaces is 0.2. The coefficient of friction between all surfaces is 0.2. Then find tension in the string, and acceleration of the block M2. Acceleration of, right? And so now here for this, if you draw the free body diagram, you will get the clarity again. Suppose I am taking this for this M1 I am drawing here. First of all, this is a M1 10 kg block. And tension is there here, tension 30, it is acting at 30 degrees here. So that this force will be T cos 30 will be there along this direction and T sin 30 will be there along this direction, right? And then remaining forces will be there like weight of this block 10g, and from this side normal reaction will be there here from this side, and you may consider that as N1. And next if you draw the free body diagram here, so this is M2 20 kg block, and this normal reaction N1 will be there here, and from this side this normal reaction N2 will be there here, and this 20g will be there in downward direction here. And so now you need to decide the direction of the friction here between this M2 and the wall, and between this M1 and M2 you need to consider there. So while deciding the friction, I said a simple logic there. So first assume the system without friction. That means assume the system like all the surface or smooth surfaces. If all the surface or smooth surfaces, then what will happen there? Which block will start moving down first? So then this 20 kg block will starts moving here. For this, it is some upward force is there for this here. It can remains in equilibrium there because it is connected by the string there. So some upward force is there. So then for this there is no any upward force here. So it will start sliding down here. When it starts sliding down here, relative motion is there in downward direction. So friction will act in upward direction. Let it be F2. And here again the frictional force will be there. This block will start sliding down here. So here also frictional force will be there, F1. So here if frictional force is F1, then on this M1 the frictional force will be there in downward direction here, the reaction force, right? And then here this normal reactions N1, N2 values we can write this as N1 is equal to N2 is equal to T cos 30. So that will be the normal reaction horizontal direction. And now for this let us balance this equilibrium here. That means this it is connected to this string here, so that block will remain in equilibrium. So that I can write this as for M1, if you write this equation here, T sin 30 is equal to 10G plus F1, right? And so now this value you can write this as T sin 30, that means T by 2 is equal to 100 plus F1 value we can write as coefficient of friction is given as 0.2 into N1. So N1 value is T cos 30. So T into root 3 by 2. So mu n formula we are applying here, right? And so from this T value you can calculate here. So then T of 1 minus 0.2 into root 3 is equal to 200. And when you simplify that, you will get this numerical value here. Therefore, the T is equal to 200 by 1 minus 0.2 into root 3. And that is the tension value here. And the tension, after finding the tension value, you can calculate this frictional force and then the acceleration you can calculate here. So now for M2, for block M2, we can write this as 20G minus of F1 plus F2 is equal to 20 into A. That means net force is equal to MA equation we are writing here. And so therefore this is 200 minus F1, F2 both are same here because coefficient of friction is here and here is same and normal reaction is also same. And so that you can write this as mu into T cos 30 plus mu into T cos 30. So both are same there. So this is equal to 20A. And you can simplify this value here. So therefore 200 minus 0.2 into T value is 200 by 1 minus 0.2 into root 3 into cos 30 is root 3 by 2 and into 2 because two terms are there. This is equal to 20A, and then simplify that you will get this A value here. So therefore this 10 minus this 2 you can cancel and 20 I am dividing here. So here you will get 10, and so that 10 into root 2 means 0.2 means 2 you will get. So 2 root 3 by 1 minus 0.2 into root 3. And take LCM and further simplify that, you will get that expressions there. Like if you are taking LCM, then you will get like 10 minus, here you will get 2 root 3 and here also 2 root 3 is there. So 4 root 3 will get. So 4 root 3 by 1 minus 0.2 into root 3 meter per second square. And if you want to further simplify, then you can substitute that root 3 value and you can further simplify that. That depends on that options there, right? So that is that case here. Now let us take one more similar problem. So next to say this is another problem here based on that similar to our previous problem. This is 25 kg block and this 15 kg block, they are connected like this. So just to mention that in the system shown in figure, find the minimum horizontal force required, to keep the block, to keep the system in equilibrium, if the coefficient of friction between all surfaces is, if the coefficient of friction between all surfaces is 0.4, 0.4. So then here also the measure problem you will get to decide the direction of this frictional force here, right? So again, as I said, if you are taking that to decide the direction of friction, first let us assume that friction is not there. So if friction is not there, can you say here which block will slides down here first? So here generally you will do the mistake here, 25 kg is larger block, so it will move down first here. That is not the correct here, because observe the tensions here. If here suppose the tension is T here, then here the tension is T, so that here the tension will be 2T. So that means, for example, if you consider this 15 kg is at rest because of the tension here, for example. So if tension, then tension will be equal to 15 G will get. If tension is 15 G here, then here tension will be like you will get 30 G. So that means for this block should accelerate in upward direction here. That means even if you keep that 15 G at rest, 15 kg block at rest, then 25 kg block should accelerate in upward direction. So once the 25 kg starts accelerating, finally 15 also should accelerate, because they are connected by this movable pulleys there, right? So that means simply here this 25 kg has a more tendency to move in upward direction here when compared to that of 15 kg. So that you should observe here. 25 kg has more tendency to move in upward direction, and so 15 kg has tendency to move in downward direction here. So now let us take the free body diagram of those blocks now. So that is 15 kg, and this applied force, and then here this normal reaction N1 let us consider. So here frictional force will be there in upward direction, that I am taking as F1, right? And so then tension will be there in upward direction, and this will be 15 G will be there in downward direction here, right? So that will be the free body diagram of this 15 kg. And let us take free body diagram of this 25 kg here. So if you take the free body diagram of this 25 kg, so this N1 will be there along this direction, and from this wall N2, again both are equal, which is equal to F. And here the tension will be 2T, tension will be there here. And now the frictional force will be, the reaction force for this will be F1 in downward direction, and similarly the reaction here this frictional force F2 will be there in downward direction, because as I said, this block has tendency to move in upward direction here. So for that block is having the tendency to move in upward direction here. So now let us take the equilibrium of the blocks here, so that you will get this minimum value, minimum force required there. So I am taking like for 15 kg block, for 15 kg block you can write that force equation as F1 plus T is equal to 15 G. So F1 is nothing but 0.4 into T, 0.4 into F, mu N, mu is 0.4 and N is nothing but F only, plus T is equal to 150, or from this you can write T is equal to 150 minus 0.4 F. This is our T value. Let's suppose this is our equation 1. And then now let us consider the for 25 kg here. So for 25 kg, so you can write that equation as 2T is equal to, you can write that expression as F1 plus F2. And actually as the coefficient of friction is same and normal reactions are same, F1 and F2 values will be same only. So you can write this as 2F1 I can write, because this F1 is equal to F2. Numerically both are same only, because normal reaction is same and coefficient of friction is also same. And so therefore what you can write here is T is equal to F1 you can write. So the T value, the T is equal to 150 minus 0.4 F minus 0.4 F you can write here, that is equal to 0.4 F. T value I am substituting from this here, 150 minus 0.4 F, that is equal to F1. F1 means again this value we need to write here, 0.4 F1, F. And so this is nothing but 0.8 F is equal to 150. And so therefore F is equal to 150 by 0.8 newtons. So that will be the minimum horizontal force required there. So the minimum horizontal force required to keep the system in equilibrium is nothing but that is the amount of force here, right? That means based on that vertical surfaces, friction based on the vertical surfaces, you need to solve like that. And next let us consider this inclined plane, motion of the object on the inclined plane, and with that, after completion of that, you can discuss more problems based on this horizontal plane, vertical surface, and on the inclined plane. That combined, you can discuss there lot of problems, right? So next I am discussing about motion of the object on this rough horizontal, rough inclined plane. Motion of object on inclined plane. So smooth plane we discussed already in NLM, that means NLM 1. So now we are going to discuss in rough inclined plane here, the motion of the object in rough inclined plane. So in case of this rough inclined plane, so then here before going to this, first here we need to define this one definition here. So let us write this angle of repose. So angle of repose. So here angle of repose means whenever you are keeping an object on this inclined plane here, if you are keeping this object on this inclined plane, now suppose the block may remains at rest. That means it is a rough inclined plane only. We are discussing about rough inclined planes only. Now suppose if you are keeping the object like this, now the block may remains at rest, right? Now if you are slowly increasing this inclination here, if you are moving this inclined plane like this, so that this angle of inclination increases, then for a particular angle the block is ready to slide down, right? Is it clear? When you are increasing this angle of, initially we are assuming that on this inclined plane block is at rest. If you are slowly rising this inclined plane here, if you are lifting this inclined plane so that this angle of inclination is here is increasing, then for a particular angle the block is ready to slide down. So that angle is nothing but we call angle of repose. So that means therefore angle of repose can be defined as the angle of inclination of the inclined plane at which the body is ready to slide down. So that angle is nothing but angle of inclination, angle of repose, right? So just write the definition, angle of repose. The angle of repose is the angle of inclination of the inclined plane, is the angle of inclination of the inclined plane at which body is ready to slide down. Body is ready to slide down. So now let us consider when the body is ready to slide down here. We represent generally with this angle of repose as phi here. Suppose I am taking this angle of repose as some phi. Phi or alpha. You may represent with the phi or alpha. So then here the force is acting, this angle I am taking as angle of repose here. Then this components, that means mg cos theta will be, cos phi will be there along this direction, and mg sin phi will be there along this direction, normal reaction, right? And then this frictional force will be there. And as the body is ready to slide down, this frictional force you can say that limiting friction here. That is the important thing you should note here, that frictional force will be equal to limiting friction. And therefore what we can write here is that normal reaction is equal to mg cos phi, and then this mg sin phi is equal to FL, limiting friction. So which you can write this as mu n, and therefore this mg sin phi is equal to mu s. Mu means, so mu s into n value, so that n is nothing but mg cos phi, right? And therefore from this you can write this tan phi is equal to mu s. So then this is nothing but our formula for this angle of repose here. So that means tan phi is equal to mu s, or you can write this expression as phi is equal to, that means angle of repose phi is equal to Angle of repose phi is equal to tan inverse of mu s. So that is our angle of repose definition here, or angle of repose formula. And from this you should also observe that this angle of repose and such a similar relation we derived previously, tan phi is equal to mu or mu s. So there the angle we named it as angle of friction. Angle of friction means angle made by the net contact force with this normal here. If a block is kept like this, this frictional force is acting like this and normal reaction is acting like this, then this is the net contact force here. The angle made by this net contact force with the normal reaction is nothing but our angle of friction. So for this angle of friction also we write this tan phi is equal to mu s only, and here also we are writing that tan phi is equal to mu s. That means they are numerically same, right? And so next let us discuss the possibilities here. If I discuss these possibilities here, so that means now suppose I am taking this case 1 here. Case 1 means the angle of inclination theta is less than phi, or theta is less than tan inverse mu. That means this is the case what we are taking here. The angle of inclination is this angle what we are taking here. This angle what we are taking. Now this angle is less than this phi we are assuming here. So in that case what will happen, that we need to discuss here. So just to mention that when angle of inclination, this is here mentioned that when angle of inclination is less than this phi, angle of repose, or theta is less than tan inverse mu. Sometimes they will express like this. Now the forces acting on this block are mg sin theta will be there here. What will happen first of all in this case is the block is moving. So block is ready to move only for this case here, right? So when the angle of inclination is less than that, block doesn't move here. Block will still remains in equilibrium only, right? So block will remains in equilibrium only. And then here what we need to write here is this will be the mg cos theta value, and this is the normal reaction what we need to write here. And this will be the frictional force what it is acting here. The frictional force will act along this direction here. So just to mention here, the block will remains in equilibrium. First that condition, under that condition. So if angle of inclination is less than this phi, then block will remains in equilibrium. Block will remain, and frictional force acting on the block is so here the important thing is about this friction here. So here the friction you can't write it as mu m, that means mu n you can't write here, because limiting friction is not required here, the just static friction is required here. So F is equal to, you can write this as mg sin theta, you can write here. That means this is the frictional force in this case when block will remains at rest, right? And so next let us write the case 2. Case 2. That means if theta is greater than that of phi, or theta is greater than tan inverse mu. Theta is greater than tan inverse mu. So then what will happen? The body will ready to slide down here. So the body will ready to slide down. So then this mg sin theta value will be greater than that of this limiting friction here, and so body will ready to slide down, and the body that means frictional force will be there, like kinetic friction will be there. So just to mention that if theta is greater than phi, that means theta is angle of inclination and phi is our angle of repose. If angle of inclination is greater than angle of repose, then body starts sliding down. With some acceleration. Body starts sliding down with some acceleration. If they are equal, then this is the case here. That case we already discussed there. That is nothing but the definition of angle of repose. If theta is equal to phi, we say body is ready to slide down. When body is ready to slide down, then the frictional force will be equal to limiting friction we need to consider there, right? So this is angle of repose definition here, and in this we need to discuss the cases regarding this here. In this case, body will remain at rest only, so nothing to discuss there. Simply we need to write the frictional force there. Frictional force, and there in that net contact force also they will ask here. So write this net contact force also here. The net contact force. So the net contact force, what we can write is F is equal to under root of n square plus f square, and substitute that n and f values, you will get that contact force as mg. You may substitute that. N means mg cos theta and f means mg sin theta, then you will get this contact force as mg. That indicates that here the contact force will be vertically upward direction here. So that means this contact force you will get like this, and which is equal to mg directly there. So that means that is a contact force there. And now in this case, different cases will be there, like accelerations we need to discuss and some conditions we need to discuss there. So now let us consider the acceleration in this case here. With what acceleration it will slides down when angle of inclination is greater than this, greater than angle of repose. So this is the case what we are taking here. This is greater than this phi. So then the forces acting on this will be mg sin theta. Then this kinetic friction will be there here, and then this block is normal reaction will be there, mg cos theta, and this is the normal reaction here, right? And so now here I am deriving an expression for this acceleration. Acceleration of this object when it is sliding down the rough inclined plane here. So it is now sliding down with some acceleration here. So then here from this what we can write is the normal reaction value you can write here, so which is equal to mg cos theta, right? And then here we can write this acceleration of this object as ma is equal to that net force equation mg sin theta minus fk. And so therefore this ma is equal to mg sin theta minus fk. That fk value you can write as mu k into mg cos theta you can write. And therefore this a is equal to g of sin theta minus mu cos theta you can write here, mu k cos theta. If only one coefficient of friction is given, or mu s or mu k you can write there. So this will be the acceleration of this object which is sliding down this rough inclined plane here, right? And whereas the smooth inclined plane means acceleration is, we derived already in this Newton's laws, first part. So what is the acceleration of an object sliding down the smooth inclined plane? That is g sin theta. Simply you can substitute this mu k value 0 here. If friction is not there, then mu value will be 0, and you can substitute that. Then this acceleration will be g sin theta you will get, right? So that is in case of smooth inclined plane. So you may mention that here we derived it already for smooth incline. So for smooth inclined plane mu k is equal to 0. Therefore this acceleration will be g sin theta you will get. So this is in case of this smooth inclined plane here. And next let us derive an expression for acceleration and the time taken to slide down. They will give such an information here. That means now here we are taking this, these are the general informations you can solve directly here. So this is the length of the plane, suppose if you are taking and you are releasing the block from rest here. So this initial velocity is 0, initial velocity that is. Now it will reaches the bottom of this inclined plane with velocity v. So then we need to write this velocity here, right? So just mention that. I will mention that as a points here. Some points will be there regarding this. This acceleration one point, and the next is velocity here. So velocity on reaching the bottom. So that means simply you can apply this v square minus u square is equal to 2as for this. So final velocity v square minus, we are assuming that the block is released from rest there. So 0 and 2 into g of sin theta minus mu k cos theta into L. Therefore, that velocity you can write as under root of 2g L into sin theta minus mu k cos theta you can write. So, this is the velocity with which the object reaches this bottom here, right? And next, and here they will give this one condition here. That means based on this some problems will be there. So, just note down and simplify it later. That means here if that means an object is released on a smooth identical plane and rough and identical plane. So, velocity on reaching the smooth identical plane is velocity on reaching the bottom of this smooth inclined plane is n times the velocity on reaching the rough inclined plane, identical inclined plane. Then from that we need to find the coefficient of friction there. So, just to mention that when an object is released from the top of the two identical inclined planes, one is rough and other is smooth. If velocity on reaching the bottom of the smooth inclined plane is n times the velocity on reaching the bottom of rough inclined plane, or the n times that of rough inclined plane, just you can simply mention that n times that of rough inclined plane, then coefficient of friction for the rough inclined plane is given by so right. So, just you need to substitute these values here. This is already we calculated for the rough inclined plane, and you know the smooth inclined plane is mu k value 0 we need to write. So, for this rough inclined planes what we can write is 2gl sin theta we can write. So, this is equal to n times that of rough inclined plane. Rough inclined plane means this only. So, then you will get like 2gl of 1 sin theta minus mu k cos theta you can write. Then simplify that, square and square both sides, then you will get the n value. So, that means mu value. So, we need to write the mu value in terms of this n. So, simplify that, right? And so, next point what I am going to consider here is time taken here. Time taken to slide down the rough inclined plane. So, the next point, time taken to slide down rough inclined plane. So, time taken to slide down the rough inclined plane. So, this value, for this value you can simply use our S is equal to ut plus half a d square equation there. So, therefore, S is equal to ut plus half a d square equation, just we are writing here. So, therefore, here L is equal to 0 plus half a d square, because initial velocity is 0, body is released from this rest here. So, therefore, this t is equal to under root of 2L by A you can write, or which is nothing but under root of 2L by G of sin theta minus mu k cos theta you can write, mu k cos theta. Every time I am writing that mu k, as I said, if only mu value, most of the problems only one mu value will be given. So, just you need to write the mu value only, right? So, this is the time taken to slide down this rough inclined plane here. And so, now here again they will ask such a similar velocity condition here. So, now note down that value also there. So, this is a velocity expression. So, just again mention that condition there. Next point, write it as a next point there. Just I will give the information and you need to calculate that. So, write this next point there. Two identical objects are released from the top of two identical planes such that means two identical planes, one is rough and other is smooth. One is rough and other is smooth. And here just mention that condition as if time taken to slide down the rough inclined plane is n times the time taken to slide down the smooth inclined plane, n times the time taken to slide down the smooth inclined plane, then the coefficient of friction between block and rough inclined plane is given by, and again same for this rough we calculated already time taken for this rough, so that means this is 2L by G of sin theta minus mu cos theta is equal to n times that of smooth inclined plane. Smooth inclined plane means just that coefficient of friction 0 you need to substitute here, no need of deriving it again. So then you can write just 2L by G sin theta. So just again square and add square both sides and find the coefficient of friction here. So that means here also you need to find this coefficient of friction. That means in this condition and this condition both are similar conditions there. One is in terms of velocity and other is in terms of this time here, right? So this is the time taken and velocity and acceleration, some simple expressions there. And based on this some other information or lot of points we need to discuss here based on this and interesting points regarding this inclined plane, and I will explain those in our next class, right? Thank you.